Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. Today I'm doing the quick to judge tag. This is an unscheduled video. I didn't think I would have time to slip one more in, but I do. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and it's such a fun tag. I thought I must jump in on it. Toot sweet. And so that is what I am going to do. Let me just read what I have here. The Quick to Judge Challenge was created a few years ago by Ali Risdal. This is, I won't, pardon me, I'm just getting confused as usual. These are the prompts. 1, pick 5 to 10 unread books from your shelves. 2, read the first paragraph of every book. 3, rank the books based on the first paragraphs. 4, add your highest ranked book to your upcoming TBR. And 5, invite others to do this challenge as well. Since I always enjoy reading some snippets from books aloud, I thought this idea of blindly reading some first paragraphs suited me to a T. So I figured that what was meant was novels. I could have picked other sorts of books, but I felt the variation might be so wide as to make the tag or the challenge, as it were, kind of not so fun. So I decided to pick some novels, and I went with novels that I have in hardback. And there was one that I was looking for and couldn't find, but that's okay. I found another one. And then there was one that I pulled out, and I opened it up and just took a glance at it. A book that's on my shelf, I have no idea why. And the first paragraph goes on for like 3 pages, and I thought, well, that's no good. I think what I have here is all a little bit normal. So I have The Cotton Pickers by B. Traven. I really don't have any intention to read more B. Traven right away, but I finished reading his Mahogany cycle recently, which starts with the book Government. It's a saga of 6 novels. So this is a book not part of that saga, but also taking place, I assume, in Mexico. The train that had brought me to this forlorn-looking little place had just left, and I was standing on the station platform looking around in search of someone who might be able to tell me what I so very urgently needed to know. That kind of draws you in, I would say. The next one is Our Twisted Hero by E. Muñoz. To me, it almost looks like a short story, but it does plainly tell you it's a novel. So let's see what we have to start that with. It's been nearly 30 years already, but whenever I look back on that lonely, difficult fight, which continued from the spring of that year through the fall, I become as desolate and gloomy as I was at the time. Somehow in our lives, we seem to get into fights like this all the time, and perhaps I get this feeling because to this day, I've never really extricated myself from that one. I should give credit to the translator. It is translated by Kevin O'Rourke. Sounds pretty good too. J.M. Coetzee, I guess, and this is called Elizabeth Costello. A number of people have read this on BookTube. I don't know how much I want to read more of Coetzee right now. think it's a novel. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll just go ahead. There is, first of all, the problem of the opening, namely, how to get from where we are, which is as yet nowhere, to the far bank. It is a simple bridging problem, a problem of knocking together a bridge. People solve such problems every day. They solve them, and having solved them, push on. Well, right off, I'm going to put it under Traven. Traven brings you to that train station and you're ready to go. This is very intellectualized. This is Amiable with Big Teeth. It is a novel by Claude McKay that was discovered probably about 5 years ago now. I, of course, had to buy it immediately. There is the poet himself. Now, I've tried reading a couple of his novels, more famous novels, and I don't particularly care for them, or did not care for what I read. I love his poetry, of course. So let's see. Oh my, there's a note on the text. And there's a picture of the manuscript as it was found, I assume, probably in a desk drawer somewhere. Oh dear, this is a long one. Okay, well, I'll just go for it. From 110th to 140th Street, 7th Avenue on this pleasant Sunday afternoon was a grandly tumultuous parade ground. The animated crowds pushed over the jammed sidewalks into the street. Every stoop was preempted by eager groups of youngsters struggling to hold their places and warding off newcomers. Above, the tricolor green, yellow, red of Ethiopia blazoned from many windows. Streamers were thrown at the marchers, and confetti fluttered in the air like colored moths. With bands and banners and pompous feet, the procession undulated along the avenue. There were Elks and Masons and other fraternal orders, political and religious organizations, social clubs and study clubs, the Ethiopian Students' Class, the African Historical Society, the Senegambian Scouts, Ladies' Auxiliaries, children's groups. At intervals, resounding claps rewarded some section which attracted special attention by a piece of meretricious music or movement. Near the corner where the procession went down a side street to the church, a huge banner floated over the avenue, bearing the motto, "Welcome to the Prince of Ethiopia, envoy of His Imperial Majesty." Probably a little bit wordy for me at the moment. I'm going, as much as I love McKay, I'll put him, this is my ranking so far. I haven't decided on Our Twisted Hero, so. And is Ismail Kadare, A Girl in Exile? I just absolutely adore this cover. I read his The Traitor's Niche last year and want to read more. Until he reached the end of Dibra Street, it seemed to him that he had succeeded in thinking of nothing at all. But when he found himself next to the Tirana Hotel on the north side of Skanderberg Square, he felt a sense of urgency, even panic. Only this square lay between him and the party committee building. Now he could no longer pretend to be more composed than he was, or reassure himself with the thought that his conscience was clear. He had only to cross this square, and however huge it might be, it was too short a distance for anyone who had been summoned to the party committee without explanation. So that sounds a little bit too much for me too. So I'll put it under the Coetzee for now. But so Traven is still at the top. and this is not any kind of a rating based on what I think is the better paragraph, the better written or whatever. It's just what I think I can handle. And right now, at the moment, I don't know if I can handle very much. So let me do our Twisted Hero again. It's been nearly 30 years already, but whenever I look back on that lonely, difficult fight, which continued from the spring of that year through the fall, I become as desolate and gloomy as I was at the time. Somehow in our lives, we seem to get into fights like this all the time. And perhaps I get this feeling because to this day, I've never really extricated myself from that one. I think this will be the winner for me. So if I hadn't read so much Traven in January, I might dive right in, but I don't mind a little break. So these are my books, or perhaps I should show them this way so I can take a screenshot and let's do it like that, and then have something to entice viewers into my video. So I did a poetry reading yesterday. I think I'll probably just put this up with it though, and then I followed that with a impromptu poem, which I popped out like a zit, as somebody once said. And so I will upload this now and let this be my last video for possibly a week, unless I feel the need to pop something else like a zit, so to speak. So thank you, Pat, for tagging me, and thank you for stopping by my channel.